Hey guys, it's Jasmine and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a really quick kind of a how to use the backgrounds you make video. I've done another video on my channel doing this background with these specific inks, but I wanted to show you how I used them to make cards with. So at the very beginning there was 2 shots of 2 cards I made, and then at the end there's 2 more shots of the same cards. So I'm using Distress Oxide re-inkers along with some Colorburst Liquid Metals colors to give it some shimmer. So what you want to kind of keep in mind with this is this is a messy process. We're using inks, but we're also going to do 2 backgrounds with the same process. So what I'm doing is I have a piece of watercolor paper, and I use Canson 140-pound cold press water paper. This is a student grade, so it's really inexpensive, and I buy the big packs like 11 by 14 and then cut them down into smaller backgrounds. So it makes it a lot more economical to use watercolor paper. So I'm adding the ink, and then I add quite a bit of water because I want these inks to spread. One thing I would do differently is, so you can see that the Salty Ocean as well as the Peacock Feathers and Twisted Citron was kind of taken over completely by the Lucky Clover. So if I did this background process again, I would probably do the colors one at a time rather than do them all together, because as you can see they kind of run together, and then you have to add more ink to get those colors to show up. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind and play with if you decide to try this out. Another thing is that the orange I used in this was Wild Honey. Now in the original Distress inks, this is a much more yellow golden tone, whereas in the Oxide it's much more orange. And so you get mud easier using this one with the greens and the blues than you would the original ink. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now I do blot off, and that's the nice thing about using the liquid inks, is you can blot off those areas that get muddy easier than you could with the regular inks. So here I've got my 2 backgrounds, and I did heat dry these, and these do take a lot longer to dry, air drying, than any other ink that I've ever used, because it's the pigment quality to it. It's just one of those things. So here I've got footage of me using some Nouveau Glimmer Paste. Now this is a fairly thick glitter embossing paste. So it's super shiny, super glittery, really easy to work with, really soft. But I will warn you that these tend to dry out the less of the product there is in the jar. So it's just something to kind of keep in mind. So I'm using a stencil. I believe this is the Crafter's Workshop stencil. I'll have it listed in the link box, the description box below, if you're interested in getting this one. So this is black, and it dries super black. It does not thin out or anything when it dries, and it gives a really pretty shimmery finish. And then to finish this off, I just added a die cut hello to the top, mounted it to a card base, and you're good to go. So these are really easy to finish up. For the second background I had, I just used a Funny Bones stamp, I believe this is, and some black archival ink so it shows up. So thanks for joining me today, guys. I will catch you later, and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.